Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our Zenith Work Comp training powered by Opulate. Let's go ahead and get directly into training. First, we're going to open up our Accord form wherever it lives. In this case, it's on our desktop, but Opulate is complementary to any agency management system. So if your Accord form is housed in an AMS or another location like a file, go ahead and open it wherever it lives. So in this instance, we'll go ahead and open up the Accord that's on our desktop. Our Accord's going to open here. And you can see that this is simply an Accord 130. There's nothing else attached to it. It's going to have the base information that we have for our insured. Now we want to get this information from our Accord form over into Opulate so that we do not have to rekey any unnecessary data. So what we're going to do now that we have our Accord open is find our print button. In this instance, it's just going to be going through a file print. Then we'll make sure that our printer destination reflects that of Opulate Uplink. There are more than one printer driver usually available on various desktops, so just make sure that your printer destination is that of Opulate Uplink. Once Uplink is selected, then you would click OK. At that point, you would receive a pop-up in the middle of your screen asking you to validate your Opulate credential information. The system will print that Accord to Opulate. We'll get that pop-up here shortly. And that's one way to use Opulate Uplink. Now there is a secondary way, that's a shortcut that I would like to show you. So we're going to go ahead and cancel out this box and close our original Accord form that we had opened to get back to our desktop. Now we'll go back to our desktop and we'll right-click on our Accord form. This is where our shortcut's going to show up. Then you'll see that Opulate Uplink is a shortcut, so we'll click Uplink. The result is going to be the same. The system is going to ask us to validate our Opulate credentials. So bottom line, there's no right or wrong way to use Uplink. It's simply a matter of convenience, whether it's opening your Accord form and selecting print or using that right-click shortcut. Now, the system has recalled our credential information from a previous transaction, so there's nothing that we have to rekey there. Now we'll go ahead and hit send. The Uplink print driver is then going to automatically open up Opulate and ask us to confirm the line of business that we want to work on. So because it's an Accord 130, it's going to be work comp in this case. So now we can click continue. Now we can go ahead and hit send. And this is going to translate all that duplicate data over directly to Zenith from our Accord form. Again, we do not want you as the agent to have to rekey any unnecessary data. You have done a lot of hard work before, and we do not want anything that you have done to have to be rekeyed. So we're just going to assign our branch and our agency as well as the primary contact. But if you scroll down just a bit, you can see that all that duplicate data has been bridged over. So again, we do not have to rekey any of that information there. You would continue clicking through your screens. The goal is obtaining the quote as you're used to obtaining it. There may be some questions that aren't considered missing and required. So in that example, we had to just confirm employees there, but we're continuing to click through the screens and then obtaining our quote. You are getting it much faster than you would be getting it before because you're having to not rekey any of that information there. So the concept would be the same from screen to screen. You would continue clicking through the Zenith screens, obtaining your quote as you're used to obtaining it. And that is the simple workflow using Opulate to bridge over the duplicate data to Zenith. Now that we've gone through the workflow, I do want to review a little bit of setup that's going to be downloading Opulate Uplink and how to do that. It's a simple print driver, but it's very crucial to the performance of Opulate and Zenith, making sure that you don't have to rekey any unnecessary data. So we're going to go ahead and close out of this Zenith screen. And we're going to head back into Opulate manually for just a second so we can take a look at how to download Uplink. So what you'll do once you're downloaded, or once you're logged in rather into Opulate here, we'll go to Tools at the very top of the screen and then choose Opulate Uplink from the drop-down menu. It's the third option down. This will just explain that Opulate Uplink is a simple print driver that's going to eliminate the need for you to rekey any unnecessary data. Then you will want to click the Download Uplink driver. This will take about a minute to install. And once the driver is installed, you are ready to use Opulate. We'll show you here an example of what the driver looks like. Our example here does already have it set up, but you will just run through the system wizard. And that concludes the workflow and setup for Opulate. We can't wait for you to get into the system and start using it. If you have any questions for system support, please reach out to support@opulate.com. If you have any questions regarding policy or any Zenith questions, you will direct those to your Zenith representative.